Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. Episode 8.
My name's Brijesh.
My name's Jimmy. Thanks for tuning in to the Lucky Lotus podcast. You know where to find us? X, Instagram, TikTok,
Patreon,
Facebook,
we know we can actually get on LinkedIn now too.
YouTube, Spotify,
Apple
Podcasts,
SoundCloud.
Where you find podcasts will be in your
100% we're gonna
ears,
be there.
going at it every day.
Okay, and one big ask, listeners. Help us
One
get
big ask.
axe. Big axe.
You do a lot of Ask body spray.
I do.
That's a Zach Galifianakis joke. Don't know if I pronounced his name right,
You
but
100% didn't, but he's not here, so
go on.
he can come on and correct the name. For
Yeah,
himself.
we'd love to have you on, Zach. If you're listening, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell.
Hit the notification button.
Did that one really tickle you?
That did tickle me.
Burjesh is
but
very
here's
giggly.
here's my request, guys. Help us get to 1,000 followers. We're almost there.
Subscribers on
Subscribers.
YouTube. We just talked about this. Help us get to 1,000
There's so many
subscribers
different-
on YouTube. We're very close. We've just made a handshake agreement that if you're in the Memphis area
Yep.
and you are our 1,000th subscriber on YouTube, we will be taking you to dinner at the top of the Bass Pro stainless steel pyramid.
That's our pyramid is the answer to Giza pyramid. They should be checking what's underneath that pyramid.
You may ask worldwide because we have some France listeners, we have
Yeah.
some Canadian listeners, we have some Africa listeners. I've checked.
And some London listeners too. There's one person in London that listens.
If you are the 1,000th person, you don't live in Memphis, and we can't take you out to eat, we will Zoom you while we eat. That is our proposition.
It'll be a good time. Actually, you know what? We could do a 1,000. Whoever 1,000 followers, we could do a little mini episode with them.
Just really hoping you hit the video record button.
Oh man! Oh man!
Did you hit it?
I think. What do I mean? I think.
I don't remember you hitting it. Leave this in if you did. It's be good stuff. It's recording. All right, let's go. I say you just leave it in.
Yeah.
All right, we're doing it live. Come on.
Editing.
Less editing. You're going to see how the soup and nuts are made. The bolts.
Soup and nuts and
Yes,
bolts.
soup to nuts from the Latin, eggs to apples.
The bolt. What is it? The bolt chicken tikka masala.
You never heard someone? We're going to take this project soup to nuts across the goal line.
I haven't heard that, but I did now.
It's a Viking saying.
We-
All right. Thanks for tuning in. Episode 8 coming at you live. So we're going to move into some ad reads. We're going to do some current events, some more ad reads. We're going to give you 6 big reasons someone needs a beer this week. We're going to talk about My Roman Empire, first time listeners. That's something in the past that we really just think about in history.
And 6 Big Beers is any character or any person during the week that we find that we should make fun of for being ridiculous or dumb.
Any figure. Because
Any
you say
figure.
character, it could be Bugs Bunny. Elmer
Could be
Fudd.
Bugs Bunny, but if Bugs Bunny, Bugs Bunny, if he was in the media spotlight for some reason, we would talk about him.
Could be Johnny Chimpo.
It could be anything. It could be Curious George.
Super Troopers reference, Johnny Chimpo. Anyone who's seen the movie will appreciate that. Over his head.
over my head.
All right, let's move into our first ad read.
And Michael, hey, we were talking a little earlier. Can you make us a desk?
Yeah, we need the next sponsor to make us a desk, a secretariat if possible. We've got the exact dimensions.
Yeah, something super fancy.
Something made to order.
Something I can sit on, eat on.
Ooh, we'd love that. A custom RFQ.
That'd be in the wood grain.
Request for proposal? No, that's request for proposal. I don't know what you think.
I thought QR code. What the heck? What am I on?
A QR
My
code?
coffee.
Get it. Show them your cup. Show them how ridiculously large it is.
It is a large. We're in America, dude. Come on.
You look like you
shaming.
stole that cup from Mickey Mouse's hands. For those of you,
I did.
Brijesh has a cup
I
that must
did.
be at least 3 Coke cans in diameter.
It's technically still 1 cup.
Yeah, it looks like you
Technically.
could fit an entire box of Cheez-Its in the cup.
Here, we got a little spoon in here just to kind of keep the
There you go.
coffee
I like
stirred.
that. Hit him with the ad read.
Okay, so Michael, with Nesta Woodworking, tired of not having the right tools, blowing hours at Home Depot or Lowe's, only to lose a Saturday? Leave it to the pros. Michael at Nesta Woodworking can save your weekend with expert craftsmanship, specializing in custom cabinetry, built-ins, wood repairs, refinishing, custom trim, and much more. Take your design and make it a reality. Call Michael at 901-468-7955 for your next project and skip the DIY hassle. Someday is here.
Just want to say, shout out
Check
to
'em
all
out.
our
Check 'em
sponsors. Brijesh doing a great job with the ads. We've now got banner ads at the bottom, so you can still see us while we read the ads. Great
So
editing.
the philosophy is get 1% better every day. We're living it.
The philosophy, that seems very stoic of you.
It is so stoic. I'm such a stoic person. Stoic to the core.
Love it. Love it. Well, let's move into our current events. I've got a pretty wacky one. Did you have something?
I did have something about
What's going
stoicism.
on?
So,
Okay.
who was the person that was...
Marcus Aurelius.
Marcus Aurelius. Okay, this is blowing my mind. I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently a gladiator screwed his wife. And just to think about the juxtaposition of his stoicism, I would be pretty stoic too.
Okay.
If my wife got railed by an MMA fighter, I'm the king.
We're going to move on to the current event.
Let's go to the current event.
Okay, current event. I've got one that's very Looney Tunes. Speaking of Elmer Fudd and Bugs Bunny, this one is that in L.A. a jewel heist was completed where the thieves made away with $20 million in jewelry.
Whoa!
Guess how they did it?
How?
I guess you'll have to tune into the last episode of the 1998 thriller, The Heat Review, episode 7. No, the way that they did it was not like some new age scheme. Like, you see a lot of people steal Mercedes, they've hacked it. You see a lot of people do this.
Something sophisticated.
This was very low tech Bugs Bunny. They went from across the street, rented a unit, and dug under the street and up through the jewelry store.
That is pretty smart.
So the day that they finished doing the jewelry store, like regular hours of business, they just opened up the floor trap, beat through the floor. The alarm went off. They escaped across the street, made out with the jewels. Now they've just got to fence it. If you're looking to fence a diamond, contact us at Lucky Lotus FM.
We have buyers here, don't worry.
Yes, we've got buyers. We've got sources.
Okay, so fencing is basically trying to sell it, right?
Fencing is trying to get rid of a hot item that is hard to get rid of, such as
How would you get
if
rid
I
of it?
stole the Mona Lisa, there's only 20 people in the world that could buy it, and everyone would know that it was stolen.
So if you say, and we didn't steal these diamonds, but how would you go about like selling it or...
I wouldn't steal. If you're gonna steal something, steal some cryptocurrency or something. Because like now, even like old world diamonds don't have any markings, but now Gia, the person that is responsible for like diamond verification and authenticity and the price and the appraisal, they actually do a serial number on their diamonds. So it's actually very hard to steal them now.
So diamonds can be constructed in the lab.
Yes.
Through artificial means. There's only 7 or 8 diamond mines across the world. So diamonds they're artificially inflated in price too, right?
Yeah, it's a big marketing scheme. We could get into that. But the LA jewel thief made out with $20 million. God. Bugs Bunny hole.
That's so crazy. Diamonds are basically worthless. It's worth $20 million, but
I saw someone on Twitter say old head scheming. Like no person under 30 committed that crime. It was someone over 40 that was like, yeah, we should do this.
Yeah, 56. Well, with the economy the way it is, I do blame him. I don't support at all thievery.
Speaking of the economy, what current event you got cooking over there, big boy?
So it's not economically related, but I have to question about tariffs. I know.
Okay, so we can talk about tariffs.
Okay, so
that's a big thing. It's a buzzword.
It's a tariff this, tariff that. But I was going to talk about Dr. Sanjeev Kumar. I will, but I'm curious, like, what's going on with the tariffs? Like now, I know it was a big back and forth between China. We're going to do 50% tariffs on you. No, we're going to do 75% now. It's 125. Oh, wait. Actually, these are tech companies. They're excluded from these tariffs.
Yep.
Which makes sense because if the tariffs hit like Apple or any other, IBM, laptops are already expensive enough. So that price would go out the roof. So that makes sense why like basically tech is running our economy right now. So they're trying to shield them from that. But what's going on? Has it chilled out or?
No. So like you've been pairing tariffs your whole life. Tariff and duty, the word is exchangeable. The way that a tariff works is, let's say you're country A and I'm country B, and I have a tariff on your country.
Yeah.
When someone in my country and country B goes to import an item, you have to pay that tariff 2 months in advance of when it's going to get to me because of transit times. So it's basically like paying your mortgage 2 months in advance. It usually takes 30 to 90 days for you to sell an item. So when that item comes into shore, you're going to end up paying the tariff. Doesn't sound so bad if it's 5%, but like today, I think China's tariff is 245% for the U.S. and they're doing reciprocal tariffs and all this stuff. You look riveted by this tariff talk.
Wow. Okay.
You were like, wow, that's so interesting.
No. It is interesting in the fact that
now I know what it's like to go on a date with Brijesh and talk about my horoscope.
Tell me about your day. How's your life going? Capricorn. I'm a Sagittarius.
What were you gonna ask?
So with a 225% increase in tariffs, this back and forth, we're getting caught in the middle of it. Their economy is suffering as well as ours.
Right.
And I understand the idea of why tariffs exist, just to kind of increase the sentiment of making products in America. But just building the infrastructure it doesn't happen overnight.
Right, exactly.
So I can see what Trump's trying to do, but this is bleeding.
Well, it's the biggest flaw of it is that he doesn't have enough runway and time to execute it. In the 90s, Ross Perot would say stuff like, you don't have enough runway to do it even in 100 years because you'd have to get to the point where the only way that tariffs work is if the Chinese people have the same purchasing power as the American people, which will not happen anytime soon from a consumerism perspective.
They're getting pretty close. But
the pros of the tariff are you're going to bring, hopefully someone's going to say, if sneakers from China are $250, I'm going to start making sneakers for $150.
Yeah.
Buy American. And the cons of the tariff are now you're going to prevent the importers from importing the goods. Now you're going to wreck the world economy.
Yeah.
You're going to think that you had all these sales and like we could be on track for one of the worst economic years in global history. Clip it.
There we go. But I mean, this was coming anyways, especially after COVID with the stimulus checks going out, with how overly priced everything got. We were bruising for a cruising for a while.
Yeah.
Cruising for a bruising.
We were bruising for a cruising. I love that. We should make that a t-shirt, bruising for a cruising.
There we go. English is my second language.
I need a hot dog real bad. It's a White Lotus reference for anyone seen White Lotus.
I need to watch
I have to tell Brijesh what these references are. Otherwise he thinks I'm just going off the rails.
I don't know what's going on.
For these tariffs though, too, one of the things that it's affecting that a lot of people didn't think about is if you don't have a cell phone in 2 months, you're going to be upset and it's going to be a one voter issue. If you can't get the newest iPhone. So like Apple went out of their way to get 2 jumbo jet sized planes of their next phone that they're going to sell 6 months ago.
That's
to get ahead of it.
That's crazy, bro.
Dude, that's so crazy. We're like literally, but someone just said that in the car. Someone listening to us is like, man, these guys are blowing my mind.
All guys
man.
have like 6 phrases.
Exactly.
And then we run through.
It's like there's a meme where it's like Joe Rogan says the government's corrupt, and then some bodybuilder like halfway across the world is like, oh man, that's crazy.
I mean, come on. Every time a bro says that's crazy, an angel gets his wings.
Yeah. So like right now, the economy is going up and down globally. You can do a lot of things as the other countries deflate, inflate currency, do all this stuff. But anyway, I don't think anyone wants to hear any more about tariffs.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll go to local Memphis news.
All right.
Maybe a month ago. This was pretty recent.
Episode 2, actually.
Episode 2.
Tune back. If you didn't listen to episode 2, stop, go back, listen, resume this episode 8.
In late February, Dr. Sanjeev Kumar was indicted by the FBI. He had 23 indictments that came across. The allegations ranged from sexual assault to using unhygienic equipment to intimidating to stealing money.
For those who didn't listen to episode 2 and are not from the Memphis area, what kind of doctor is he?
Get this. He's a gynecologist. So apparently he wouldn't have women in the room with him when he was examining other women. So already
sus.
Super sus. But he went to jail, $100,000 bond. He paid it. Of course, he's rolling with all the money that
he's a doctor.
Yeah, he's a doctor. And get this. So his clinics are open back up again.
Okay.
And I was just wondering, I just want to plug his clinics and say, hey, ladies, if you want to go get your if you need a gynecologist, go check out Dr. Sanjeev Kumar, a federally indicted doctor. If he
all this is alleged allegations.
All this is alleged.
We're reporting the facts, fair and balanced.
Yeah.
You decide
if it's true or not. But I just found it super gross super sus that you get not only do you get out of jail, you get $100,000. You probably have a bunch of other legal fees, but you get to resume operations like nothing happened.
Well, he basically got busted by like the health department of doctors, right?
Yep. And I doubt he's the only doctor doing shady shit.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like, would you eat at a restaurant that just scored a 69 on their health exam?
It's with the limited options in Memphis that you already have with gynecologists and insurance coverage plays a big role in what kind of doctor you're going to go. Can I get one?
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're cracking a little nicotine toothpick.
Wait, no. I thought you were going to get one too.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I was just handing you one. Nicotine toothpick. Yeah, but if you get into the system, then is the system messed up? And if the system messed up, isn't it all our faults? And if it's all our faults, don't we have a deeper discussion?
We need to sound off in the chat what discussions we should be having.
That's a reference to Animal House, National Lampoon. Another movie. I was gonna keep dropping movies until Brijesh actually watches these things.
If you watched Attack on Titan, which I convinced my cousin to watch, if you watch Attack on Titan, I will watch every single movie.
Okay, I'll tell you what. We will when we do a review of the next thing. I will review Attack on Titan.
It's again. I don't want to ruin anything you've seen.
What if I have a bad opinion about it?
That's fine. It's you can have whatever opinion you want of it. I just want you to. This is modern cinema. In the creating, this was almost a 10-year-long project. The story, again, I don't want to like repeat what we talked about in previous episodes. It's the concept is really silly, but the way it's executed really makes you feel for the people that are going through this trauma.
What is the doctor's name one more time? Because I don't want to mess it up.
Dr. Sanjeev Kumar.
Well, I want to tell you,
Kumar. I am not related.
anyone that allows 8 homeless people to make a 6-bedroom, 5-bathroom set in their backyard while their clinic is shut down. That's all you should need to know about the man.
And I've got the video, and I'll actually post it.
Facts. That's not allegations. We've got the proof.
Do you think it'd be a good idea to post that video of the homeless encounter?
I mean, I don't care. I mean, people would like to see it. I think you should put it right here as I'm talking about it right now in the video.
And then I'll make a short of it or something, and everyone can
love it.
What kind of music do you think?
Edit as we go. Talk to you about our editing. Talk to you about our facts, our daily
editing.
lives.
What's our editing consist of? Just cutting and trying to like.
Did you file your taxes?
Oh yeah. We took care of that.
I don't know if you saw in the news, people affected by this last storm, which you can watch the last episode we just published. In the middle of it, our lights flickered. There were tornadoes in the southeast.
They all were coming for us.
I think they all now have until like November the 1st or November 15th to pay their taxes. Which I just paid my taxes. So if I would have known that, I had an extension to pay. You have an auto extension to pay.
Yeah. I guess if your properties.
Which,
wait, no. That makes no sense. An auto extension, but
you have an auto extension, so you do not have to file an extension if you live in any of the states that are affected by the fire or affected by the storms.
Yeah,
you have a ability to pay in November for your taxes, which are usually on April 15th. And if you file a normal extension, you usually have to pay to file it or file it yourself.
Yeah,
and it's not an extension to pay like this FEMA thing is. It is an extension to file, but you still have to pay. So if you end up owing money, you owe penalties and interest. Or if you get money back, you have to give back that penalties and interest.
Okay, well, that sounds like a headache.
And if I'm wrong about that and you're an accountant, leave a little snooty comment in the chat.
Chat. We need your services. Set us straight. But okay, yeah, that's really nice of them. But it wasn't really publicized, was it?
No, exactly. They published it like 2 days before taxes were due, so a lot of people were like scrambling to get their taxes done. And they decided on April 12th that on April 15th it wasn't the real deadline.
Okay, and that's again our shady, corrupt government.
Yeah,
back at it again.
That's what's going on land. What's going on in space?
Space. Okay, we're going to 6 Big Beers. You want to do your ad before we do? Or?
Well, no. Didn't you have some more current events?
Oh, okay. Well, recently. Not even recently, what was it, last year when 2 astronauts were stuck in space because of Boeing's shuttle?
Or was it that Joe Biden?
Joe Biden did it. Joe Biden was ahead of it, yep.
Elon Musk said he was. Elon Musk said he offered to bring him back way earlier, and they were like, no, let's do it after the election.
That's so sad. It was all publicity.
We're pro-astronauts. We've been pro-astronauts since episode 1.
Since I was a little kid, actually. Since 1996, I was a pro-astronaut person. But so these 2 astronauts stuck in space, they're dealing with like BS that they don't have, bureaucratic BS that they don't want to deal. Just they need to come back home, basically.
You almost said litigation. They got paid like $1,000 to be in space for 200 and something days.
That's it?
Yeah, something crazy like that.
Okay, whatever. Well, they came back. It was a whole event. Imagine you're just going to space for a month or whatever, and then your stay gets extended by 7 more months. So you're already dealing with muscular atrophy.
It was a
lot of conditions.
Whole booger bear being up there.
It was a lot of problems. They come back down, and it's a whole event. And then Katy Perry recently, she went to space
on Blue Origin.
Thank you, Jeff Bezos.
I just touched my lips to the mic. Sorry if anyone heard that. That was me. I just went. Right into the mic, just gave it.
For the listener.
It was a first date kiss. I gave the mic. Nothing else happened, people.
Making out with okay. Well, edit it in. No, I'm kidding. So Katy Perry goes to space on Blue Origin. I guess it's just a stunt by Jeff Bezos on his crappy space program. Which, I mean, I don't have a space program, so I can't comment on someone else.
We can comment. Shitty space program.
Some other man's space program. Who are you? Know your place.
Who are you?
But Katy Perry goes to space. She's on Instagram Live. Which, how do you get reception up there? It's whatever. She's not looking out the window at Earth. She's looking at a daisy. She's singing "What a Wonderful World," and when she gets back on land, she's being dramatic, kissing the ground. Oh, I'm so happy I'm back. Which kind of spits in the face of the two astronauts that spent that much time without choice either. They could have come back a lot earlier, but again, stuck between not litigation, bureaucratic BS going on. So that's
bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy is awesome. It favors celebrities, but not the hardworking Americans that risk their lives for scientific endeavors.
To get up there, to go up there.
$1,000 for 8 month long.
She probably had to get back to her cat. You know what Katy Perry's cat is? It's my favorite fact.
What?
Katy Perry.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I know.
That's so sweet.
Speaking of a little sweet tooth, we can move into our next ad. Devour Desserts. Hey, it's Jimmy Burkholz, your resident dessert guru. Devour Desserts Cheesecakes box. It's my latest obsession. I've sampled every sweet under the sun. These creamy cheesecakes are top tier. My gut's singing praises and my taste buds are in love. Want the best dessert ever? Call Devour today for their cheesecake box. You'll see their at and phone number if you're watching the video.
In next week, I'm gonna get the box.
Brijesh told me he was going to go to this restaurant. He went to an adjacent restaurant that is less than 200 feet away.
I texted
him and said, "You're near there. Go there." And he would have been received with open arms with international travelers that he was with.
I need to go. We went to Arcade, which, by the way, Arcade's French toast, amazing. We would love to get sponsored by them. Had it for the first time. I can't believe I haven't tried that restaurant like ever. Now I'll be going back. I had fried steak. Amazing.
Chicken fried steak?
Chicken fried steak.
Okay.
Amazing. Okay.
Tell me you're not white without telling me you're not white.
I'm not.
Yeah, you're like,
I'm white.
I had this fried steak. It was
white.
delicious, but it was fried like chicken.
But okay, that's on me. Devour, I'm coming to see y'all. Don't worry. Your desserts sound amazing. Jimmy can't stop talking about it. I can't stop thinking about it.
Thanks for advertising.
Yeah, thank you.
While Brijesh pulls up his 6 big beers that we're going to move into the segment, I was informed by Brijesh, because I don't do anything that he asked me to do as far as looking at apps, content, or the views, that we have actually passed a milestone of 100,000 views for this podcast.
Which is surprising, and shout out to you all. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for watching our content. Again, we would love it if you followed and subscribed to us. But regardless, thank you for actually looking at our content.
We love you, chat. I love you, chat.
So much.
We love you. Hit that bell, like, subscribe. 1,000 subscribers coming soon on YouTube. We're moving into our 6 big beer segment, the segment that if you've never listened before, these are 6 big reasons that someone needs a beer this week. Brijesh, are you ready?
I'm ready. And you know who my person is? We just talked about her. Katy Perry.
All right, let's get an air horn for the views, and let's get an air horn to kick off this segment.
Ready?
I am ready.
And let's do it. Okay, beer number 1. Katy Perry's in space, crying like she's auditioning for Interstellar, singing Firework at a meteor. NASA's like, yo, it's just a rock, not your ex. Chill.
Hit him with the rim shot.
Cool.
Go on.
Beer number 2.
Okay, it's beer number 5. It's like the David Letterman thing. So you go in reverse order.
Katy's floating in a glittery spacesuit, screaming, "I'm the queen of the cosmos." The astronauts are like, "Lady, you're clogging the air filter with." We're gonna have to edit this out.
What is it? Let's get through the word. Hold on. No, we're leaving this in. Okay. I want to know what word you got stumped on.
Sequins.
Which one is it? Number 2?
Yeah.
All right. It should have been Katy Perry's floating in glittery spacesuit. Says, "I'm the queen of the cosmos." The astronauts are like, "Lady, you're clogging the air filter with your sequins." Sequins was the word.
Well,
I'll let you read one of mine.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Now you're stuck in the tree.
No, and the tree doesn't work. What's going on? These lights don't work either now.
We're off the rails.
We are off the rails. Okay.
Beer number 4.
Thank you. It happens to me too.
Beer number 4.
Why 8 episodes in, we still don't have that down.
Beer number 4. Number 4 reason Katy Perry needs a beer.
Okay. Katy sees Jupiter and starts sobbing. "It's my soul planet. Dude, it's a gas ball, not your Coachella headliner."
Ooh.
No,
that was pretty good.
Okay,
that was pretty good.
I appreciate it. Beer number 3.
Yes.
Here we go. Katie's in zero gravity, flayed in like a drunk fairy yelling, "I'm one with the stars." The crew's like, "You're one with the vomit brag. Grab it."
All right. I was going to hit one. I didn't like that one. What's your number 2?
Number 2, Katie's filming a TikTok in space.
Keep going. Dude, what's going on with you?
I don't know.
Brijesh is stumped.
I'm not stumped. It's the brightness with this. Okay.
He's on his. He's on
the
his.
brightness dims while I'm trying to read. I should just have no cards.
Is that a Barnes and Noble Kindle?
It's not. It's actually an iPad with the M1 chip.
Go on.
Okay.
Beer number 2. Reason number 2.
Katie's filming a TikTok in space. Wylan. This is my galactic. Waylon. Waylon, this is my galactic truce. The pilot's like, "Your truth's gonna crash us into an asteroid. Sit down." Beer number 1.
Number 1 reason Katy Perry needs
Katie's
a beer.
got a bedazzled helmet, whispering, "The universe chose me, bro. Elon just needed someone loud to scare off aliens."
Oh, I like that one. Hit him with the
There we go. You know, best for last. Whatever.
All right. Well, you made it through it.
Thank you, listeners. For
I'm gonna pass you my phone. I am going to do someone that I'm going to try and pronounce my name. This one is for all our sports listeners. This one is for Nika Imavailoa, which is not how you pronounce his last name, but Nico is the quarterback for the Tennessee Vols for last year.
Yeah.
The story behind this is he said that he needed $4 million if the Vols wanted him to play. They said, "Why don't you test the open market? You're no longer a quarterback for NIL." He went out, and now the biggest offer he can get is $1 million because everyone knows he's like a wounded rabbit in the middle of the forest.
Still pretty great. $1 million.
Still pretty great, but he just left $1 million on the table trying to chase $4 million.
Do you blame him? He's hustling. He's grinding.
I do not. So read this first one as number 6 since you read one of mine.
Okay, the first one that's...
Yes, and just when it gets to his name, say Nico, which is number 6. Number 6 reason Nico, the ex-quarterback of the Tennessee Vols, needs a beer.
Here we go. Nico dives into NCAA transfer portal with "Do Not Disturb" sign like he's hiding from an ex. The drama's got more twists than a soap opera, and he's got to chug a bud to keep up.
Ooh, I didn't like that one. That was a bad one out of you. That's why I had you read it. This has really gone off the rails for the 6 big beers. Okay. Number 5.
Not only am I in the grave, but you're throwing...
Yeah, I'm throwing dirt on top of Brijesh, putting nails in the coffin, being like, "Oh my God."
You're
All right.
my bro.
Number 5 reason Nico needs a beer.
Yep.
NIL money. Whoopsie. His crew begged Tennessee for $4 million raise, but UCLA's offering pocket lint.
Okay.
It's like asking a Ferrari to go to a Schwinn. Pass the Coors, Nico. You need one.
I like that, I think.
All right. Number 4, Tennessee tantrum fallout. He skips practice, ditches the Vols. Now fans are madder than a wet hen. Urban Meyer says Tennessee toast, but Nico's got one in the fryer. Sip a Miller, buddy.
Okay, I like that one.
Okay. Number 3.
Guys, look at his focus. Look at his determination.
Swapping Tennessee's playoff studs for UCLA's who's that guy on the roster is like trading a ribeye for a can of Spam. He'll need a Heisman to choke that down. You like that one. I'm going to hit it with the air horn.
Very good. Very good. Very nice.
All right. Number 2, a Tennessee pastor fresh from South African kidnapping hears that Nico's in the transfer portal, prays for his soul. When your drama distracts you from a live hostage situation, you deserve a tall boy.
Okay, can you go into detail about that?
About what?
What happened? Is that actually true?
No, this is a joke.
Okay.
What are you talking
Whoa,
about?
that's big.
You were like, there's a pastor in Africa praying for this guy?
What's going on?
Oh my God, that's so funny. Okay.
Wait.
All right, give me a verbal drum roll for the number 1 reason Nico Imavailoa needs a beer.
Go ahead.
Cam Newton's epic roast. Cam Newton, former NCAA NFL player, torches Nico live on air, saying he's a fool and his cash won't last. It's like your dad catching you sneaking out and tweeting about it. Nico, grab the keg. That's a Hall of Fame burn, buddy.
There you go. I like that one. That was good.
All right, and that's 6 big reasons that Katy Perry and Nico need a beer.
You guys keep doing what you're doing.
All right, we're
Stand up in the chat if you liked our jokes.
Brijesh has an ad read that he's totally prepared for right now. He's got it right here. Let's go, big boy.
It was upside down. Here we go. Have you... Whoa. What is going on?
I don't know.
You turned those lights off.
I think you got nervous about Katy Perry.
I did. And then, then her cat too. Katy Perry?
Katy Perry.
Katy Perry. All right, Katy Perry. Okay, so thank you for sponsoring us, by the way. Call WCWS Law Firm today. Our expert attorneys are here to make the process smooth and stress-free with services like settling estates, managing wills, resolving disputes, handling trusts, and guiding you through every legal detail. Based right here in the heart of Memphis, we're your local probate pros. Reach us at 901-523-1844 or visit us at wcwslaw.com now.
Great ad read. Reach out to them if you need wills, testaments, trusts, anything like that done. You got some probate issues. Make sure that you ask your parents after this podcast, do they have a will? Do you know where it is? Is it on file?
You definitely need a will, because if you don't have a will, your property goes to the state, and then you have to go through probate court.
Probate, which would suck.
It is. It's a pain in the butt.
All right, we're going to move into My Roman Empire. I am prepared. The Roman Empire segment is a fun factoid about history, something you want to talk about that just is on your mind about history. I will go first. Mine is about the Battle of Waterloo, but it's not what you think that it is.
Hit it.
Okay. So for the Battle of Waterloo, I want to start off and read the death count.
Okay.
There were 25,000 French casualties. And there were 23,000 casualties on the other side that's known as the coalition, which were made up of Anglo allies and Prussians. Okay. The exact death tolls vary. Some estimate 7,000. Some estimate that there were 48,000 people that were killed.
That's a big discrepancy.
That's a big discrepancy. Why do you think that discrepancy exists? Good point.
DEI?
No, it does not exist because of that. The discrepancy exists because they haven't been able to find bones on the battlefield. So where would the bones go? It's kind of like if I told you dinosaurs exist and there were no fossils.
Yeah.
Would you believe me?
But for bones to be fossilized, it takes a long process. Most of them decay pretty quickly.
But they find like woolly mammoth tusks. They find bones from other. We talked about the Chinos massacre about mastic gum last week. They've had those bones for over 200 years. This took place in 1836. That's less than 200 years ago. So why do you think the bones are missing?
Well, could it be just to make it more dramatic? Or you're about to tell me?
Yes, I am about to tell you. So in June 18th, 1815, near the Waterloo, Belgium, okay, it was the end of the Napoleonic Wars, okay, and 73,000 troops for the French fought the other Anglo Alliance and the Prussians, which were made up of 69,000 people.
Yeah.
The death count was, as I just said, okay, there is a theory that these bones were used for another practice. One of the top reasons you need bones back in the day is for bone char. Bone char, much like coke in steel, is a main component of how you refine sugar.
Okay.
It is how you take sugar in the raw, that is brown, or raw sugar cane, and you make it white. You have to take a large amount of bones.
The French do love their food.
They had to heat them up.
Oh my God.
This would be the Belgians.
Okay.
You would have to heat them up to 700 degrees to produce bone char that would be needed to make sugar and refine it down. And by refining, you're literally just changing the color of sugar and making it a little bit less cube and a little bit more grainy like sand.
And is bone char basically like cold? Just bones are just in like they become coal?
It's the ashes from bones. So like if you cook a chicken, no matter how hot you get it, right, you can still crack the bones. Okay. Yeah. This is where you refine it down into a powder. You then heat that up again, put raw sugar on it. Yeah. So all of this sugar in Europe is made out of this bone char during this time.
Yeah.
Well, guess what just happens to be right around the corner from the Battle of Waterloo?
What?
A sugar factory.
Oh, was a Hershey's
and it was a sugar factory that operated until like the 1900s.
Yeah.
So 1936, the sugar factory was founded.
Yeah.
I'm going to look up the correct French pronunciation.
Are you sure it wasn't like Willy Wonka's factory and the Oompa Loompas?
It's basically it's the sugar factory of Waterloo, but it's in French. So if anyone out there that's French that's listening to this podcast,
I know somebody.
It's the Choucherie de Waterloo.
Oh, we're gonna ask him if you said that correctly.
Yeah, there's no way I said it right.
No way.
Yeah, I think it's the Sucrerie.
Yeah, Sucrerie.
Sucrerie de Waterloo.
Ooh.
So they took all these bones. They took probably close to 48,000 dead bodies.
Yeah.
And after the Napoleonic War, they ran out of bones.
Yeah.
They dug these people up probably years or decades later to take their bones and make it. And that's why there are no bones found on the battlefield, the same way that they find bones all the time for Civil War of the United States of America.
I do wonder what the sugar tasted like.
Bet it tasted a little charry.
I bet it did.
I bet you it made a lot of white sugar.
I 100%.
So that is my Roman Empire fact: is why were there no bounds? The Battle of Waterloo, because we needed the sugar.
A side fact: did you know boulevard and avenue are French words?
No, I did not.
Boulevard means in French it means big street.
Big street.
Big street.
Big street.
And avenue means a skinny street.
Ooh, I like that.
So yeah, thank you for the French country. Oh, also they also drive on the right side of the road like us.
What do you got over there for your Roman Empire?
Okay, so my Roman Empire, this doesn't have to do with ancient history, but a man who's got to make modern history.
Okay.
So President, come here.
He's getting his iPad. He's back to the iPad, folks. It's worked out. Let's see how it works out for him, Cotton.
Let me make sure the
Dodgeball
brightness
reference.
is up. Okay. Meow, meow, meow.
Let's hit him with the air horn.
Okay, ready?
All right, I hit music red by mistake. Hold on. All right, there we go.
So let me give you a little bit of background. President Nayib Bukele, president of El Salvador.
Okay.
He was born in 1981. He was the mayor of El Salvador in 2015.
The mayor of El Salvador.
Or not mayor.
The mayor of the capital of El Salvador, probably.
No, okay, who knows?
Go
Who knows?
on.
This is how much research I did.
He was an elected official.
Elected official, mayor. So he was mayor in 2015, and then he ran for presidency in 2019, became or elected president. And let me tell you just a little bit of facts of Bukele, which, by
Hit
the
him
way,
with the facts.
By the way, here were fact number one. So he arrested over 84,000 gang members since 2022, reducing the homicide rate by 92%, which effectively makes them the safest country in the Western Hemisphere.
Okay.
Better than Europe, better than America, way better than America.
Don't bury the lead. How do you do that?
By arresting 84,000 gang members.
He basically walked up to 84,000 people and said, "You look like gang members."
Well, you have to understand their region they're in. It's just gang activities run
Yeah,
rampant.
I mean, you know by the tattoos.
Yeah, tattoos. That's a hot topic right now. Like profiling people with the but they have very specific gang-related tattoos. Most of them covered in tattoos from head up to the whole body. Something like the Yakuza adjacent, but. Arrested over 84, and I'm pretty sure they don't have any due process there. But whatever it is, it's the sheer fact that you were able to reduce crime by reduce homicides by 92% is striking because he is very popular amongst Latin Americans in that region or Central Americans. His policies might be harsh, but he's a ray of hope.
Some people have described it as total totalitarian.
Well, he was an elected official, so it wasn't that he.
That's true.
Yeah.
And if the people keep electing him, who are we to judge?
Kind of debunks him
My
being a dictator.
only friend.
But whatever it is, he's also the first sitting president to make Bitcoin legal tender in his country. And afterwards, other countries are not allowed. The World Bank came out and said no other countries are allowed to make Bitcoin illegal tender. So he's done that. There's 0% taxes on crypto there. He's revitalized urban areas, increased modern infrastructure, and the biggest thing he's done so far, he's created a Disneyland jail, basically Disneyland version of a jail. Mm-hmm. Where now don't confuse this with Epcot. It's called Seacot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Go on.
So this is a maximum level jail.
Supermax prison.
Supermax prison. Lights always stay on. They're just a housing area. No one's allowed to talk. Always sitting, like you have to be in your cell. You don't have a chance to go outside, interact with nature or whatever. You're basically, you're trapped inside the cell until you die.
Let me get this straight. He's making the prisoners mine the Bitcoin.
Making them
That's
pedal
what
on bikes.
we should make a shirt that says he's making them mine Bitcoin for people that don't understand how you mine Bitcoin. Well, to get the Bitcoin, he's also using the power of the volcano as the power.
Yeah. Well, whatever it is, it's he's an actual legitimate ray of hope for a lot of Central Americans because all you hear is illegal immigrants coming in, this and the other thing. By the way, on a side note, I'll include this picture. You should see the police force in the uniforms.
Oh yeah,
they look like stormtroopers.
Well,
it's awesome.
One of the things about being in Mexico is police wear masks because they're worried about the retaliation from the cartel. So that's why they wear them so they don't have retaliation from MS-13.
I was recently listening to a podcast about Julian Dory. He had one of the people in charge of getting these gang members in Mexico, they were talking about, so now these cartels are designated as terrorist, like foreign terrorist organizations. Say, for example, we start droning them. What do you think the end result's going to be? Do you think it's going to take care of anything, or it's going to make the situation that's already bad and 10 times worse?
I mean, he already made it better, right? So, and if people keep voting for him, like, who are like we to judge?
Well, I was talking. I should have been more context in this. So I was talking about the United States. Designating these cartels as foreign terrorist organizations.
Oh, they should do it absolutely. More people die in Mexico every year than Iraq for 100%. Soldiers.
They're finding mass graves all across Mexico. Recently, the presidential election, over 33 of the people that were running for president were killed. Can you imagine 33 assassinations in the United States of America?
That happens to in the Philippines too. You have to go and register to run for president, and so on your way to go register in Manila, they try and kill every presidential candidate they can.
That blows my mind. But
different world, buddy.
We'll get back to El Salvador here in a sec. But his point was, and he's pro police, he's pro safety. But he was saying that the Mexican government's already corrupt, doesn't take care of its locals. The cartels kind of act as a pseudo government, and they take care of the locals. They enforced the mask mandate during COVID. They were always making sure that the schools, as much as they can, the schools, the hospitals, everything was running right. But say we do attack Mexico, it makes it. You basically give every citizen there the incentive to like fight against the United States, which I mean, it's a complicated situation. These cartels are very, very deeply in bed with the Mexican government at this point. So trying to like get these cartels out of the system altogether. Who knows what the right answer is to doing it? But whatever is going to happen, I think it's going to be a bloody mess.
You got any more facts about this guy? Give us your top fact, your favorite fact.
So my favorite fact about him.
You know, he calls himself President B, and President Trump he calls President T. It says President B and President T.
BT.
No, they just call each other. They can't pronounce each other's names, so they just call him the initial.
I think that's another thing that I love about Bukele. It's not a fact. I think it's just again, I don't carry any water for President Bukele. Like, I don't support all of his. I don't know much about him, so I'm not backing his policies.
Switzerland, neutral.
Yeah, neutral. I'm just observing. I'm like, yeah, damn, he's got game.
I mean, he cleaned up everything.
He cleaned up everything. And my thing is, he's really pushing El Salvador to become a prominent nation in the world. He's done a great job in taking his name ID, increasing it across the world, and also increasing tourism, just giving a different route that these countries can go in now. Because I don't think, when it comes to Nicaragua, when it comes to Guatemala, all these countries are looking to El Salvador as hopefully, why can't we have a leader like that? They can also clear up crime. Because here, of course, if our president just went out of his way and started arresting everybody, it'd be looked down upon. But in these countries, all they know is crime, all they know is death, and having something new come in where it's, hey, there's an actual chance you don't have to leave your home because of crime. We can actually make businesses here. We can make you can make a home and a life here, and you don't have to be scared for your life.
What's kind of like the wild, wild west thing about crime is sometimes a city does need to be cleaned up with a gun, but then there's a fine line between human rights, atrocities, civil rights, freedom. So.
Because recently, what happened? 250 Venezuelans were sent to. They were deported, and they were sent to not their origin of country, but they sent to El Salvador to the prison. And maybe there were one or two people in there that were wrongfully deported.
It's no different than Guantanamo Bay or black sites or getting thrown in a Russian gulag.
Exactly. I guess it's more. Again, I don't know. How do I put this without making this sound like I'm for or against it?
Well, you got to let the people decide. The viewers,
y'all
right?
decide. There's a fine line. I understand that the immigrants aren't legal, so all the rights don't apply to them as well. But at the same time, we set a standard of what human rights are and the way we treat people. So it doesn't look good that we're just taking. I understand the message you're sending. It's devastating to anyone trying to cross the border right now. Like, oh, it doesn't matter. You're going to be sent to El Salvador. Don't even try. Stay where you are.
That would make me stay where I was. Exactly. I can't think of anything worse than being in a South American prison.
What happened? 2,000 people illegally coming across the border down to 20 people? Or 20 people that they're catching.
It's like, people want to say it's Mexico's problem that they did this, but like Mexico is one of the only countries where they get stopped when they come to it. But like they've got to go through El Salvador, they've got to go up through Panama, they got to go through all this stuff to get up there. And all these countries are like, so you're gonna leave? Okay, cool, get out of here. Okay, so you're gonna leave? Okay, cool, get out of here.
Mexico's much stricter about their border policy than even the United States. They don't want to deal with it. But back to El Salvador, you have countries where there's an actual, like, it looks like there can be actual economic progress. There can be more businesses in that region that you don't have to worry about gun violence. You don't have to worry about gang violence, that you can actually start legitimate businesses. Of course, these policies are very hardcore, but what you said, there's a fine line between security and human rights atrocities.
Sound off in the chat where you draw the line. Speaking
what
of,
would you do if you were president?
Are you going to start a fire for him? Speaking of starting fires, after a devastating house fire, I was desperate to buy a home in Memphis. Time was running out. I was overwhelmed by choices. Then I found Carson Abby Cook at Keller Williams Realty. They were my lifeline. They swooped in, found me the perfect place, turned my rent payments into equity overnight. I've been throwing money at someone else's mortgage, but the Cooks showed me a way out. With their expertise, I took the leap of faith. They caught me, landing gently into a better life. From inspection to the final key, the Cooks can point you in the right direction. See their Instagram and phone number.
Great ad read. Sound off in the chat if it was a good ad read. So let me give you a little BTS behind the scenes. For those of you who don't know what BTS is.
Oh, give me a little BTS.
We haven't seen each other in 2 weeks. So
yes,
maybe that's
true.
why. Maybe that's why it's a little off the rails.
Working out a little bit of the kinks.
Yeah, but you know what? We're doing it together, chat. You're here with us.
100,000. We got to be doing something right.
100%. Just hit the follow button. Hit the subscribe button.
Give him that.
Worked out today after a couple days.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Dude, Lifetime is such an amazing gym.
Love that. Plug Lifetime. We need to get them sponsored.
Well, dude, they let my cousin in for free, so
shout out Lifetime.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna move into our final segment, and then we're gonna move into the outro. This is our new segment. We performed pretty well last week. Our childhood trauma segment.
Okay,
you got something? You look like you're ready to go.
No, you go first.
I got one. Okay. So we started off this segment. I pitched to Brijesh about 2 weeks ago, and I described what I'm going to describe now, which is my childhood trauma. Last week we had some good ones, so if you didn't listen, tune back into those. They're pretty good.
Back, guys.
So this is the second week we're doing childhood trauma. My childhood trauma this week was flying a kite with my father. As we were flying a kite, it was an Easter Sunday, and he had purchased my brother and I a kite. I think this will come out pretty close to Easter, so this kind of ties into it. My brother was 13. He thought kites were stupid. He wanted to go play video games or chase women.
At 13, chasing women.
I was like, I had to be 8 or 9 at the time. We got a 4-year age gap. So I was, a kite sounds like the best Saturday I've ever heard of. I've never flown a kite.
Until you learn how to chase women.
8 years old. Yeah, exactly. I go to fly this kite, and at this point, a lot of stuff hadn't developed. Where we flew this kite now is like a Raising Cane's, a Costco, all this stuff. The only thing that was in this industrial park at the time was Costco. Now there's a Lowe's, Home Depot, Michael's, Ashley Home Furniture, a Leslie Pool.
Is this in Cordova?
No. This is in the southeastern Costco at Hacks Cross in Winchester, in Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
So we go to fly this kite. My dad and I go out into the field, and it's got to be the windiest day I think I could have remembered as an 8-year-old.
Good day for a kite.
So we go to fly the kite, and my dad pulls the ultimate, like, hey, you wanted to do something? Cool, hold my beer. I really wanted to do this too and relive my childhood. It's kind of like building a Pinewood Derby car, and your dad's like, put the nail in. No, do it this way. And then eventually he starts building the Pinewood Derby car.
I'll just do it myself.
So here I am at a field, and my dad's flying a kite, and I was like, this is awesome. It's a string, there's a kite, everything up in the air.
What more could a man need?
It's so windy, we're getting rope burn from this twine that came with this kite, this Chinese knockoff kite.
Yeah.
So we have a thin plastic cross and a thin little sheet of plastic that's tied to this plastic cross, and a very thin, slippery piece of twine. So it's extremely windy.
Yeah.
So my dad says, hold this kite. I'll be right back. I'm going to go get gloves to stop the rope burn. So I decide that I'm going to hold this kite on for dear life. And I start getting rope burn. Yeah. Then I look back, and we're in this field that's probably 2 football fields long, and it goes up and down. I can't see my dad.
Yeah.
I'm freaking out. I think he abandoned me like a puppy out in the middle of this field.
Yeah.
So I find a rock in this field, and I tie the kite the best I can to this rock. Well, my dad comes back. I see him with the gloves. I'm like, okay, thank God my dad didn't abandon me. He goes, what are you doing? What are you doing? I turn around. The kite is just taking off like 1,000, 2,000 feet in the air.
What did your little heart think? When you saw
I knew my dad was going to be pissed, and he was pissed. Yeah. He was so pissed. I heard about it on the walk back. I heard about it for 400 yards. I heard about it in the car, and he's like, last time we're going to fly a goddamn kite.
Dad rage
so pissed. And so we have to drive around this industrial park that is just dirt. They're starting to build a sporting goods store on the other side. We turn the corner of the sporting goods store. This kite picked up such velocity that it went through the windshield of a Memphis police car. And we're looking at this Memphis police officer. We're the only people in this industrial park because it's not built out. And I look at my dad. He looks at me. He says nothing. He just starts driving away. And the cop's like, did you guys see anything? This kite came out of nowhere and hit it. My dad was like, oh my God, and just kept driving.
You must have thought you're going to jail.
Oh, yeah. So we had about a 20-minute car ride home. And I think it might have been the only time my dad and I didn't speak for probably 21 years.
Yeah.
15 minutes of just complete silence as we had destroyed this Memphis cop car with a kite.
Whoa. I don't want to. Like, in that moment, like, there's usually that awkward first 2 minutes. Are we not talking? Then it's like we commit after the third minute.
Oh, yeah.
That you have to break the silence. Because if I say anything, it's like you're going to get a stream of cuss words coming your way.
We get home, literally open the door. My mom's like, how was flying the kite? And my dad was like, we don't want to talk about it. we, to this day, until my dad passed away, we never talked about that memory.
Okay, well, that's hell of a memory.
Yeah.
That's a traumatic memory.
Childhood trauma. What do you got over there cooking for childhood trauma? Take us out.
So my childhood trauma, again, this probably didn't happen when I was 9, but because it was so long ago, we're going to just around 9 years old.
All right.
It did happen on a Tuesday because back then we didn't have any cable. We just had whatever was playing on, well, it's not cable. What's it called? Just
Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon?
We didn't have Cartoon Network. We didn't have
just the local channels?
Just the local channels.
Okay.
So we were rocking PBS. My dad would never buy a subscription. Like, why do you...
PBS was going.
PBS was going. And I knew it was on Fox. Everyone got Fox, too.
Yeah, so it was right when Fox came out.
Yeah, so the Simpsons special was coming on. I was really excited for it. So I decided to take out my razor. For those of you who don't know what a razor is, it's a...
The scooter. The scooter. Okay.
Yeah. You know what a bird is?
You brought out a scooter. You brought out a non-motorized bird for all the Gen Z listeners.
Yes. And so non-motorized, I thought you said non-murderized bird.
No. I mean, birds are dangerous. So you get out this scooter.
I'm like, you know what? In celebration, because I'm 9 years old, I'm just going to take a little stroll around I'm going to go to the biggest hill, go down as fast as I can on my razor.
Hell yeah. What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? You're just going down a big hill. Man, like kid sees hill, kid sees razor. Let's try it. So I'm psyching myself up like I can do it. I'm a man. I can do this. Get to the top of the hill. I'm not wearing a helmet. For anyone out there, wear a helmet when you're...
No, if you wore a helmet on a razor, you're a loser.
Yeah.
I want to tell you that right now. If you're listening, be like, glad you
My
wore it.
dad took the helmet, threw it in the trash can.
Yeah, exactly. This is the 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
No one's wearing a helmet.
No one's wearing a helmet.
I also just want to point out the structural integrity of these razor scooters was indestructible.
Yeah, they're made out of titanium or something.
They hit you in the heel and you're like on the ground for days.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. So I'm going down this hill. I've done it a couple times here and there. So the hill, there's like maybe a 2-inch drop off where you go from the driveway up to the pavement, right? Mm-hmm. Well, in that drop off, I must have hit something. I lost balance, lost control.
Okay.
And then I flew off the razor, hit a manhole, and then I'm unconscious on the street for about 2-3. My mom says 2-3 hours. She
you went ass over 10 cups on this thing?
I did. Dude,
all right.
I did. I was knocked the fuck out.
Okay,
but
we'll bleep that out.
We'll have to. But
you hit the bleep button. Bleep.
Okay, so my aunt sees me. She does nothing because it's like, oh, he's a 9-year-old.
Brijesh is playing on the ground.
Just laying there lifeless on the ground.
Your legs like twisted behind your head and stuff.
Yeah, she goes in, comes back 10 minutes later. He's still on the ground. Something's going on. And then my mom sprints from our house is maybe 4 or 5 houses down. She sees me running up the cove.
This is first child. You're the oldest child.
I'm the
so
oldest
if it was
child.
The youngest child, they'd be like,
It's whatever. Walk it off. Walk it off. So she's screaming, running, or like just yelling my name. I remember being picked up and she was just yelling, oh, he's dead. He's dead. And I'm like in her ear, like she basically, when she was running, she was shaking me a lot too. So that woke me up, and I'm like, Mom, I'm not dead. I'm
Okay.
alive. I'm alive. So, profusely bleeding from my head. Barely have consciousness. I definitely have CTE, or not CTE. I definitely have a concussion. No helmet.
Probably
Go
a
figure.
little IBS as well.
I was, dude. I technically have reverse IBS.
If you're telling me the story ends with you pooping your pants on this Razor scooter,
no. Here it's even worse. The firefighters come. They're touching my head. They're touching everything, asking me, "Do you feel what is it? Sensation here, here,
show
and
us
here?"
on the doll where the firefighter touched you.
He touched me right here, and then I projectile vomit in his face.
Oh my god! How pissed was this guy? I just imagine when you say a firefighter, imagine a guy with a big beard or like a mustache, and now he's got to pick 9-year-old
This is
Brijesh throw up.
2001, 2000, whatever. So it was. These were still firefighters. Still being a firefighter.
This was prior to I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
Yes. So he touches my head, and I immediately look at him, eye contact, projectile vomit onto him. He's like, "Oh, okay, he's okay."
Yeah, if you throw up, you're pretty good.
So I'm getting.
Did they let you go to sleep, or you had to stay up to make sure you didn't have a concussion?
Yeah. So this is what I remember about it. We were going from Cordova to downtown, and because I'd finally gained consciousness, we weren't. The emergency lights weren't on. They were just taking their time because, like, what's the point? You're not dying. You're still alive. But they did clarify, don't go to sleep. Do a nursery rhyme. And I'm thinking this guy is like sing a long time. London Bridge is falling. And then it's
So you
like,
sang that in the back of the ambulance?
Yeah. So I was just singing that. I'm just like waiting for him to chime in. And now I feel like an idiot in front of everybody.
You're just singing in the back of an ambulance.
Yep. So that was traumatic. Not the actual accident. The hospital bill that we got afterwards was very traumatic, dude.
Oh, I'm sure.
They charged for fucking everything.
For that touch.
For the touch. For a Coke can. They charged $20.
For a Coke?
Yeah. The only reason I remember these is because my dad never
Yeah, he went through. You're like,
Dad.
oh, this is the ultimate dad thing. You're
Yeah.
like, it's 2 months removed, and he's like, $20 for a Coke.
Are you happy
$50 for ibuprofen. Ooh, I'm glad your head doesn't hurt. And your mom's like, well, at least he's alive. He's like, he's not gonna be when I get to the bottom of these line items.
Well, I think this was right around the time when the markets weren't looking that great too. Money was tight for everybody.
This was during the .com bubble, you selfish man.
Was it .com? It
Yeah,
was
probably. Either that
maybe
or like the
2006 or 2007, something
If
like
it's during
that.
that, it was during the Great Recession where gas was like $4 a gallon, which would be equivalent to being like $6 a gallon now.
Yeah, that is so crazy. Thank you, inflation.
Inflation, shout out inflation, shout out inflation in the chat.
Shout out tariffs. Tariff.
You the number one inflation.
Was it moist critical? Let's just say famous
Moist
word.
critical.
Moist critical. Asmongold. But yeah, so that was my traumatic experience. The backlash I got from my dad was worse than me getting a concussion, dude.
Yeah.
Getting backlashes from dads is never fun. I would rather take the injury over having getting verbally assaulted by your father.
This is like a story you'd ask your dad about, and he just makes a scowl.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Huh. Yeah,
Yeah, I remember
Razor
that.
scooter. It's like probably $50 worth of fun, and then how much was the total hospital bill just for everybody?
It was $10,000.
Holy shit!
And this was
Oh my
we didn't
God.
have health insurance back then either. And it was
So this would have been like $40,000 today.
Yes, so CT scans, X-rays, the whole shebang, and then IV fluids, whatever the process goes. I didn't have an overnight stay, which would have been an extra $2,000-$3,000
For the food.
the food, yeah, but I think one night in a hospital now is just ridiculous.
Just imagine how much hospital biryani is.
Dude, that's that's when my dad started started giving out free food to doctors here and there just in case something comes up. Hey, can you
It's so
can you do me a favor?
crazy. He keeps giving out food to proctologists for Brijesh for his IBS.
For my IBS. That's my next childhood trauma.
All right. Well, tell us what your favorite segment is. Send us some fan viewer mail. Subscribe, hit that bell. We're looking for 1,000 subscriber on YouTube.
Help us get there. You guys know whoever the 1,000 subscriber is, we're going to take them to the Bass Pro Shop.
Dinner, Bass Pro Pyramid, a story for another day.
And there we go. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all have a
Episode
great
8.
night.
Have a good night.
Bye. That was good.
Yeah.